On today's video, we're going to tell you all about all of the cities and suburbs in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area so you can decide which one is the best fit for you. Hello everyone, this is Chris Morton, real estate broker with the Morton Bradbury Real Estate Group. So let's get into it. Let's start with Cary, North Carolina. You definitely want to move to Cary if you want to be in the center of everything. Cary is centrally located, great for no matter where in the Raleigh Triangle area you work. You also want to move to Cary if you go out for dinner a lot. Cary has a lot of really great diverse restaurants, everything from Italian to Indian to just about anything in between. You definitely want to move to Cary if you want to live in an area with a lot of transplants. Cary is known as the area that a lot of people move to from out of the state, out of the country. So that makes Cary great if you're looking to live near someone who's from maybe even your hometown or at least from your own state or country. Cary is not a good fit for you if you want peace and quiet. Cary's very bustling, it's very densely populated, expect a lot of traveling around and a lot of people there. Also, Cary is not a good fit for you if you want a city that has strong southern character and culture. Cary is definitely not that. It's a great place to live, but it does not have a lot of that southern hospitality vibe that you're going to get from some of the other cities we see on this list. You also don't want to live in Cary if you work from home primarily and you don't need to commute to one of those areas that is very close to Cary. I say that because Cary can be quite expensive. You can definitely get more bang for your buck from some of the other towns on this list. So if you don't have to commute to work, Cary is probably not a good fit for you. Next up, we have Morrisville, North Carolina, and you may want to move to Morrisville if you work in the Research Triangle Park or the airport area and you want to commute to work very, very quickly. Morrisville is super centrally located to both RTP and the airport. You also want to move to Morrisville if in general you want to live in a centralized location, very similar to what we talked about a minute ago in Cary, where those two towns are right beside each other. Great central location for you to jump off to anywhere else in the Raleigh Triangle area. Another great reason you might want to move to Morrisville, tons of really great international restaurants in Morrisville. Everything again from Asian, Indian, Italian, just about anything you can imagine, really, really good food in Morrisville. You may find Morrisville is not a good fit for you if you want to live in a city that has a downtown that's defined and somewhere you can go visit. Morrisville simply doesn't have any downtown at this point. Hopefully that's going to change eventually, but it's pretty much a bedroom community, so just be prepared for that if you're considering Morrisville. Also, Morrisville may not be a good fit for you if you do work at the airport or you do work at Research Triangle Park, but you're the type of person who wants to leave work when you leave work. By that I mean you don't want to be like super close to work and have like the people that you work with like your neighbors, being your neighbors. That's going to be the case if you live in Morrisville, because by and large, everyone that lives in Morrisville either works in Research Triangle Park or the airport. There are some exceptions, but that is the majority of the case. If you want to have your privacy and be away from work, then Morrisville is probably not a good fit for you. Next up, we have Durham, North Carolina. But first, before we get into all of that, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, we would love to be your real estate agents. We are the #1 relocation team in the entire Raleigh-Durham Triangle area. We help people just like you buy and sell homes all over the Triangle every single day, from starter homes to luxury homes and everything in between. Give us a call or email us at hello@mortonbradbury.com and we'll get things started for you. So as we said, next up is Durham, North Carolina. You want to move to Durham, North Carolina if you want to live in a very lively city with a booming arts and restaurant scene. You want to move to Durham if you are looking for an area that's rapidly improving and rapidly growing. And of course, it bears saying again, you want to move to Durham if you are a foodie. Durham has some of the best restaurants, especially downtown Durham, of anywhere in the Raleigh Triangle area. Durham, North Carolina may not be a good fit for you if you're not into the hustle and bustle of a lively city. You want something that's more peace and quiet. That by and large is not Durham. You're going to have to get out into the rural parts of the city and the county to get some of that peace and quiet. So just be prepared. If you want quiet, downtown city Durham is probably not going to be for you. Next up, we have Apex, North Carolina. You're going to want to move to Apex if you're looking for a city that has a very strong sense of community about it. You also may want to move to Apex if you want to be near all of the action, but not in all the action. Apex is very close to Cary, very close to Raleigh, but if you don't want to live in all that hustle and bustle and you want just a little bit slower pace of life, Apex is likely to be a good fit for you. Also, you may want to move to Apex if you absolutely wanted to be in Cary and you also wanted to have new construction, and unfortunately you've come to realize there's very, very little new construction going on in Cary. So now basically what's happening is all of that construction work that was happening in Cary has now moved to Apex, so you're going to be close to Cary and have your new construction as well. So you're basically getting your cake and eating it too. Apex is possibly not a good fit for you if you're on a budget. Again, with all of that movement going from Cary into Apex construction-wise, it's caused prices to go up, so be prepared that it could possibly be a bit of a budget buster to move to Apex. Also, you may want to reconsider Apex if you want to live in a more established neighborhood, that you don't want that new construction feel with new construction going on, with the foliage and the trees being relatively immature. If you want that very developed neighborhood that people have lived in for 20, 30 years, unfortunately, Apex is probably not what you're looking for, but you never know. There are some options definitely worth checking out. Next up, we have Wake Forest, North Carolina. You definitely want to consider moving to Wake Forest if you are looking for a lively city with lots of things to do and lots of growth going on. You also want to consider moving to Wake Forest if you value having a really nice downtown with shopping and restaurants. Wake Forest is one of the best downtowns in the Raleigh Triangle area. Highly recommend you check it out when you come to the area. Wake Forest is possibly not a good fit for you if you work on the opposite side of the Triangle area. Unfortunately, with Wake Forest being to the northeastern section of the Triangle, you're going to have quite the commute times if you work in, say, Durham, Research Triangle Park, or even Cary, especially during rush hour and the heavy commute times. You also may want to reconsider moving to Wake Forest if you don't like trees. Now, most of the Triangle area, the Raleigh area, has tons and tons of trees, and most people are really into that. But if you don't like trees, maybe you have allergies or you just don't care for trees, Wake Forest is probably not a good fit for you because there are a lot of trees in Wake Forest. It's one of the greener parts of the Raleigh Triangle area, so just be prepared for that. Next up, we have Wendell, North Carolina, and you want to consider Wendell if you're looking for a charming city where old meets new. You also want to consider Wendell if you're looking for a good value for your next home while still being reasonably close to Raleigh. Wendell is also a great fit if you're looking to move to a small town that's rapidly growing and rapidly changing. Wendell is one of the fastest growing cities in all of the Triangle area. Wendell may not be a good fit for you if you work in the Research Triangle Park, Durham, Cary area, because again, very similar to Wake Forest, you're going to have a longer commute time and it could be tough, especially during rush hour. Wendell might possibly also not be a good fit for you if you want peace and quiet without a lot of construction noise going on. Again, as I said, Wendell is one of the most rapidly growing cities in all of the Triangle. And so that means construction. Be prepared for hammering and sawing and all of that sort of thing for a little while if you move to Wendell. Also, Wendell may not be a good fit for you if you're looking for the big city feel, because Wendell is most certainly small town feel. So just be prepared if you want exciting nightlife. Probably not going to find it in Wendell. Next up, we have Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. You want to consider moving to Fuquay-Varina if you want to move to a town that has a very strong sense of community. You also want to consider Fuquay-Varina if you're looking for some place that has a small town feel, but is also still reasonably close to Raleigh. And you want to consider moving to Fuquay-Varina if you're looking for a rapidly growing town with a great downtown, great shopping, and great restaurants. Fuquay-Varina may not be a good fit for you if you're looking to avoid feeling isolated from the rest of the Raleigh Triangle area. Fuquay-Varina is a little bit further away from everything else, so definitely be prepared for that if you were considering a move to Fuquay. And Fuquay-Varina may not be a good fit for you if you work in the Durham Research Triangle Park area. Very similar to what you saw in Wake Forest, except Now this time it's more to the south, your drive time is going to be a ways, especially in those heavy traffic rush hour times. Just be prepared if you're considering Fuquay-Varina and working in Research Triangle Park that it may not be a good fit for you. And Fuquay-Varina might possibly not be a good fit for you if you're looking for the big city feel, because Fuquay is still very much small town feel. Next up, we have Holly Springs, North Carolina, and you may want to consider moving to Holly Springs if Cary and Apex have gotten a bit too large for you. Also, you may want to consider Holly Springs if you're looking for new construction. Holly Springs has some of the best options for new construction in the entire Triangle area. You also may want to consider Holly Springs if you want to access all of the shopping, restaurants, and things to do in Apex and Cary, and also have a short, very short drive to Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina, but you don't want to live in those towns. You want to live in your own area, and Holly Springs most certainly fits the bill because it is centrally located between Cary, Apex, and Fuquay-Varina. Holly Springs may possibly not be a good fit for you, however, if you crave adventure and excitement and crazy, awesome downtown nightlife. Holly Springs is very much a bedroom community, very quiet, so if you don't want the quiet, might not be a good fit for you. And as well, Holly Springs may not be a good fit for you if you're looking for a town that has a strong historic feel. Holly Springs has grown very, very rapidly. It did not until just recently have very much of a downtown. It's definitely coming, but the whole culture of Holly Springs is pretty much that of a bedroom community, so not a lot of like community spirit going on there. But again, really great place to live, especially if you're considering new construction. Next up, we have Garner, North Carolina. You may want to move to Garner, North Carolina if you want the small town feel, but yet still being about 10 to 15 minutes from downtown Raleigh. And you may want to move to Garner if you're looking to get more bang for your buck housing wise. Garner is a very good value, definitely recommended for that, especially if you're on a budget. Garner may not be a good fit for you if you're looking for an exciting, fun downtown with lots of things to do, lots of shops, lots of restaurants. Unfortunately, Garner doesn't have very much of a downtown at this point. Also, Garner may not be a good fit for you if you're looking to move to a town that has its own identity. Unfortunately, Garner is pretty much just an extension of South Raleigh at this point. Not a lot going on other than just a place that people go, like bedroom community. Hopefully this is going to change in the future, but just be prepared. If you move to Garner, you're pretty much moving to like truly the suburbs of Raleigh. And Garner may not be a good fit for you if you're looking to move somewhere that has a lot of local shops and local restaurants. Unfortunately, Garner is primarily dominated by the big box retail stores, big box restaurants. Just be prepared that those chains are what you're going to see moving to Garner. But again, we need to go back to the positive side for Garner. Great location, 10 to 15 minutes from all of those local shops and restaurants that you're going to find in downtown Raleigh without having to pay those downtown Raleigh prices. Next up, we have Raleigh, North Carolina, and you may want to move to Raleigh if you're looking for that big city vibe. Raleigh may be the perfect place for you if you're wanting to be in the center of all of the shopping and restaurants that's primarily around in the Triangle area. Raleigh's also a great place to you if you don't mind paying a little bit extra for all of the conveniences of that shopping and restaurant scene, etc., etc. And Raleigh is an ideal place for you to move to if you want to be in one of the fastest growing cities in the entire country. Raleigh's probably not a good fit for you, however. If you don't like being around a lot of people, Raleigh is definitely one of the more densely populated parts of the entire Triangle and in fact the entire state of North Carolina. Also, unfortunately, Raleigh's probably not a good fit for you if you're looking for a deal on a house. Prices for Raleigh homes are averaging anywhere between 98% of list price and 110% of list price. So just be prepared, there's not a whole lot of deals in the city of Raleigh. And last but not least, Raleigh is probably not a good fit for you if you don't want to live in one of the fastest growing cities in the country. There's great advantages for being in that list of fastest growing cities, but of course, there's also some disadvantages like population, traffic, and all of those things. Next up, we have Chapel Hill, North Carolina. You may want to consider moving to Chapel Hill if the idea of living in a college town excites you. Chapel Hill is also a great fit for you if you like to try new restaurants. Tons of restaurants in Chapel Hill, lots of like bleeding edge, experimental, really cool stuff going on there. So definitely recommend it if you're into like the food scene. Also, you may want to consider Chapel Hill if you want to live in one of the more charming cities in all of the state and in fact really all of the country, and you don't mind paying a little bit extra to live in that sort of a community. Chapel Hill is possibly not a good fit for you if you don't like the seasonal crowds that come about in Chapel Hill. And by seasonal crowds, we mean obviously football games, basketball games, all of that. And of course, the times when the college is in session, the population of town swells by 40,000. So just be prepared that there's going to be a lot of people around when school is in session, and especially when there's a football game going on. Chapel Hill might not be a good fit for you as well if you don't like sports. UNC is there again, so great basketball, fairly decent football, lacrosse, etc., 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 all the sports. So definitely a great place if you do like sports, not a great place if you're not a fan of sports. Also, Chapel Hill is possibly not a good fit for you if you're on a tight budget. There are some affordable places to live in the Chapel Hill area, but by and large, some of the more expensive prices you're going to find for housing in all of the Triangle can be found in Chapel Hill. And of course, Chapel Hill may not be a good fit for you if you don't want to live in a town that's absolutely dominated by a university. Next up, we have Clayton, North Carolina, and you may want to move to Clayton if you're looking for a small town feeling place with a great downtown. Clayton also could be a good fit for you if you're looking to move somewhere that's closer to the beach. Geographically, Clayton is ideally located to get you really quickly down to Wilmington, Wrightsville Beach, and all of the beaches on the Crystal Coast of North Carolina. And Clayton could be a great place for you if you don't want to overspend on housing. Clayton has some really reasonable prices for houses, so definitely something to check out if you're on a budget. On the other hand, Clayton may not be a good fit for you if you absolutely positively need to be or want to be in Wake County. Clayton is in Johnston County next door, and it's not that far away, but still, it's not Wake County. And Clayton may not be a good fit for you if you work in that Durham, Cary, Chapel Hill, RTP area, because again, like some of the other towns we talked about on the eastern side of the Triangle, there's a long commute involved, especially during rush hour. Next up, we have Pittsboro, North Carolina. And Pittsboro may be ideal for you if you work from home and don't have to commute to Research Triangle Park or pretty much anywhere else in the Triangle other than Southern Durham and Chapel Hill. Pittsboro is also ideally for you if you value all the things that are going on in Chapel Hill, but you don't want to be too close to the college scene, too close to Chapel Hill. Also, Pittsboro could be a great fit for you if you want a charming downtown. Pittsboro has one of the best downtowns in the entire Triangle area. Definitely recommended if you are down looking at houses in that part of the Triangle. Also, Pittsboro may be perfect for you if you're looking to be part of the ground floor opportunity that is Chatham Park, which is a very large, very new, coming online community for residential shopping and work. It is going to be amazing when it's there. It's going to completely transform that part of the Triangle. And so if you're looking for a ground floor opportunity, Pittsboro may be perfect for you. And Pittsboro may not be such a great idea for you if you work in any other part of the Triangle area other than, again, Chapel Hill or Southern Durham. Because Pittsboro is so southwest in relation to the rest of the Triangle, just know you're going to have some really massive commute times if you worked in, say, Raleigh or Knightdale or Wake Forest. Next up, we have Knightdale, North Carolina. And you want to consider Knightdale if you want to live close to Raleigh without paying the Raleigh prices. Another great positive that kind of goes along those same lines of why Knightdale might be great for you is if you want more bang for your buck. It's one of the more affordable areas in the Triangle, definitely somewhere that's growing rapidly and somewhere you may want to consider, again, especially if you're on a budget. And Knightdale may possibly not be a good fit for you if you don't want to be in a rapidly growing area. Lots of construction's going on, lots of housing, lots of new restaurants and shopping are happening in Knightdale. Some people don't want to deal with that, and if that's you, then Knightdale's possibly not a good fit for you. Also, Knightdale may not be a good fit for you if you prefer local shops, local restaurants, mom and pop stuff. Unfortunately, Knightdale is dominated by big box retail, chain restaurants, and all of that sort of thing. Of course, you're really close to Raleigh, so you can definitely get into Raleigh to get some more of the unique cuisine that Raleigh has without having to pay the Raleigh housing prices of living in that area. But unfortunately, just day to day out and about in Knightdale, you're pretty much going to have to deal with the big box chain stuff. And so if you're looking to buy or sell a home, my real estate team and I would be honored to be your agents of choice. You can email us at hello@mortonbradbury.com, click on the link in the description, or give us a call at the number below. We'll be happy to help get things started for you. Check out this video. We think you're really going to like this one as well. Like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.